Alrighty then, my recorder cut off, but I'm on Bart Kings now. 8:37. I left Hamilton went to the library by myself. I drove there by myself. I had no contact with anyone in the library whatsoever. I was not accompanied by anyone or supervised by anyone. Yay for me. I'm on Bart Kings now. I gotta go pick up Jake. It took me 14 minutes to get here from LSUS. I did not go into the Noel Library. And I didn't go in there because I was sitting in my Durango after I got there, and a black woman drove up in a light gray Honda Civic, parked the next aisle over, and she opened her door of her vehicle. She was in her vehicle alone. And she opened her driver's door and just stood up and held the phone in her hand. She didn't put it to her ear or anything. She was just standing there and just looking out at the parking lot in my direction, but didn't look directly at me. And I sat there probably half an hour, playing cat and mouse with her, I guess. Soon, the second that I shut my Durango door after I got out of it, she immediately slammed her driver's door at the very same time and put a cell phone up to her ear, did not talk into it whatsoever, and walked like she was on fire to the entrance of the Noel Library. So I thought that was odd behavior, so I didn't go into the Noel Library. She never passed anywhere near me. She was completely silent. She didn't have any contact with me. She wasn't walking with anyone. She and I were the only two people in the parking lot at the time, and I had no contact with her. I have no knowledge of her phone call. I have never seen her, and I don't know her. The light Honda Civic, WIM, were the first three letters of her license plate. So I got across the grass and went to Bronson Hall and then to the Science Building. I couldn't find the computer lab there, so I did ask one student in each building where the computer labs were, and couldn't find them because they both gave me wrong directions. No, the second one in the second building, she gave me right ones, which were contradictory to the girl in the first building's directions. And the first one was in the first building. It was a student just sitting in the hall with a cell phone. Only phone calls I've made today were a call. Let me see. I don't think I've made any phone calls today, come to think of it. But anyway, so that's it. I didn't make her receive any phone calls at LSUS. Nobody informed me that I was being supervised or monitored, and I gave nobody any reason whatsoever to think I consented. That woman had to be 50 feet ahead of me, walking with that cell phone. And she was 50 feet across the way from me when she was in her vehicle and started the whole circus act. So no other way to say that. And the reason I went to Noel was because when I left my new job, it was extremely obvious. As soon as I pulled into the parking lot, there was a tall white male standing over by the librarian's doorway, car area back over there. As soon as I pulled my vehicle into the Broadmoor Library parking lot from the Captain Shreve side, yeah, sure enough, tall brunette man, thin as a rail, stepped away from a car, put a phone up to his ear, and started walking very slowly, pacing. Even he walked over to the library entranceway very slowly and stood there, and I drove around the parking lot So, that's what it felt. That's the police car in front of me. And he's hauling ass. And then, when I didn't park my vehicle, he stopped in his tracks. This guy that was pacing with the phone up to his ear that he wasn't talking into. And he started walking some more, like, gee, what do I do now? Very reserved, conservative appearance. I started walking towards the other side of the library. I went out and made the block around past the duck pond and, you know, then drove back through the parking lot, and he was still pacing, and he turned back to just real, you know, slow, turned and started headed to the sort of the bushes, whatever. I'm on 20 now. People walk around with cell phones, but it's the synchronized beginning, you know, and sitting there in her car, staring, you know, and not moving, or she did nothing to indicate to me that she wanted. That woman at the LSUS library parking lot, she didn't do anything at all to indicate she had any desire whatsoever to speak to me. So it looks to me like all this is fabrication of cell phone recordings. Nobody's ever supervised me and Jake but me. Nobody ever spends a dime on me and Jake but me. If we don't have it, it's because I don't have the money to buy it. The only money I ever get is what I get in child support that's garnished from excess of wages, and if I have a job, the wages that I get from that. So, you know, that's it. And nobody's ever gotten my consent to monitor me and Jake. I've never given anybody permission to testify or participate in any investigation involving me or my son. Ever. I've never given anybody a reason to think I did. So that's all it is I'm just being followed around by people, vultures like this, that are sitting there doing nothing but lying and falsifying cell phone contact with me, doing everything they can to get away from me, but sitting there staring at me to synchronize their movements and their recordings. That's what they're doing. I'm getting off on these 70th here. So, you know, the whole goal is to deceive me and to present a case that's not even valid. Doing it in broad daylight like it doesn't even matter. Oh, nobody sees it, no. And that's supposed to be what? Somebody I don't know, never met, that's not anywhere near me, staring at me doing that. That's stalking, honey. It's not supervising somebody, and it damn sure isn't inviting them to testify or getting permission from them to do anything. It's bullshit. Always good to see her taxpaying dollars at work. She was driving a late model Honda Civic, looked brand new, and I wonder who she was. I wonder how good that money feels in her hands when she spends it, because right now I'm paying for her food and her car payment by being a victim, and so is my son. I'm supporting her family because of what she's doing. She's making a living off of lying. Lying about me and my son. You know, aren't there enough guilty parents out there that beat their children and, you know, give them drugs and alcohol and let them screw all day and make babies? They can get on welfare and taxpayers can pay for that too. I mean, really, give me a break. You know, it's ridiculous. It's unbelievable to me. It truly is. I can't wait to hear the arguments to defend that and say it's legitimate evidence. It's bullshit. My memory was full on my phone. I couldn't videotape it. or take a picture.